What is up, good Gemini people? How are you guys? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. We're going to read your tarot cards. This is going to be a general message for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, all right? Because they are general, that means not every message I say on this video will resonate with every single Gemini out there. So please know that in advance. Set your expectation accordingly. Hope lots and lots of it gives you wisdom and insight to take away, but ultimately, if it doesn't serve you, if it doesn't resonate, please release it. That's okay. It may be going out to someone else this week. Okay, guys? Let's try and have some fun. What's up with my Gemmy Gems? I feel like you guys have gotten some pretty strong readings lately, so let's keep that ball rolling, right? Let's tap into Gemini's energy. And friendly reminder, you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. So what fell out here? Ooh, you got two. The Star. Where are you blocking your wishes? Hang with me. I'm not going to leave you with that message. So let me tell you how to get out of this. There's a wish that's trying to come in, but you're either defensive. I don't think defensive is right. I think you're questioning it. I think you're suspicious of it. That's what I think. It may literally have to do with an Aquarius because that is their major arcana, but let's dig deeper in. I don't want to speak too soon, but I do get, yeah, okay, thank you. That's all I needed to say. I get the vibe that this is actually something good, but you're suspicious, like, is it too good to be true? And again, correct me if I'm wrong. I never try to repeat messages, but I do these weekly, so that does happen, and I feel like this is something Gemini's energy has been around, this kind of mystery of like, well, you know, what is the truth? When are we going to actually get to the bottom of this? Because this, like, it's too good to be true. I don't believe it. You know, like, it's like you're waiting for something to go wrong when, I have to be honest, there's 3 cards showing and 2 of them have to do with long-term wishes and dreams and wish fulfillment. So some of you have done the work, but do you not believe it? Do you not believe that you're worthy, that you're deserving? Some of you, I know you do. Some of you are like, okay, good, where is it? So then let's talk about this. And I'm going to help you through that because I'm curious, what is this 9 of Wands? He represents the wounded warrior. He represents someone who he's been so dedicated to his task of essentially standing guard that it's almost like he has, I'm hearing the word submit. He has resigned himself to just being that way always and maybe sort of lacks this greater sense of, no, but there are good things in the world just because maybe you got dealt a shitty hand once in life. It's not resigning yourself to that fate, to that story anymore. It's very likely that whatever, I don't even necessarily have to say pain, but whatever story it is that you're holding on to, it's kind of saying to me with the 9 of Wands, you've outgrown it. The 9 of Wands leads to the 10, and any 10 in tarot, it's the ending of a cycle. It's not necessarily good or bad, it's what you make it, but essentially, for those who are familiar, the 10 of Wands is someone carrying this load of sticks, right? These 10 wands on their back and in their arms, and it's laborious, it's arduous, it's not fun. It serves a purpose, but essentially, I think you're delaying something that really does need to be put down, but what you're not realizing is by leaving something in the past, by finally acknowledging this serves me, but it's not for me anymore. It's not who I am. It's not what I want. This is what you're making room for. So it's like letting go of something that maybe is just okay. Or for some of you, maybe you do like it. Maybe it is good. Maybe it is solid. Maybe it has provided you with something. Understanding though that when you raise your vibe and you're like, but you know what? I want more because I deserve more because you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be egotistical. It's just, I'm a different person now, and so my vibe has changed. My expectation has changed. So then the result of that is that what the universe helps deliver to you based on your own manifestations and spiritual work, that vibe is going to change too, and like they're going to up the ante. They're going to raise the bar. So help me out here. I'm showing you this. I may as well talk about this because I keep showing you, thinking that I was showing you the wish fulfillment at the bottom of the deck, the 9 of Cups. This is about discernment. This is about logic. This is about decision making. This is about truth and justice. Very indicative of Libra-esque energy. You might be dealing with one. It doesn't have to though, because as we know, you have a full birth chart full of all the zodiac signs. So just because you are a sun sign Gemini or a moon sign Gemini, there's certainly a part of your zodiac sign that is ruled with more principles that are associated with Libra. So again, Libra is about fairness. It's about justice. It's about the scales, right? Equilibrium and balance, not living your life in any sort of extreme. It's about balancing it out. We have to remember Libras are ruled by planet Venus, which is all about love and beauty and harmony and balance, but artistic things, what you see beauty in as well as value. A lot of times Venus really does have to do with money. So yes, it can be value in terms of how we feel about ourselves and what value we put and project onto other things, but it can also be quite literally value in your bank account, right? So this may have to do with the discernment of changing jobs or expressing a truth to someone. And I never mean to offend Gemini, but I am truly a hardcore believer in tough love messages that empower you and get you to see something differently. This feels like insecurity or fear to me. Needing or wanting to do something, but really second guessing yourself. And so again, I'm not beating you up. I'm here to help you. Like, okay, let's tackle this. Let's not make it out to be this monster, because the thing is, what you're going after, it's so worth it. It really is. And I would even argue, if there's an important conversation you need to have with a parent, with a child, with a boss, with a romantic prospect, I think your approach coming up to it is what's going to make the difference. And what I mean by that is, if you tell yourself this is a scary conversation, then it will be. If you tell yourself that, yes, makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but in that uncomfortability, that's where the wisdom and the growth lies, and proving to myself that I can step forward and do this, even if you got to fake it till you make it with the confidence, there's reward on the other side. This is embracing... I'm almost going to say embracing imperfection. I don't know why that word is coming to me, but that feels like somebody needs to hear it. Embracing your imperfection and not worrying about every little detail. Also sort of key when I talk about my air signs, right? Every little detail, needing to analyze every fact, even Virgo, right? Because they're ruled by Mercury the same way Gemini is. Mercury is the planet of communication and thoughts and writing and all that sort of thing. It's almost like if you are constantly looking for reasons to nitpick and not do something, you will forever not do it, because there's always going to be a way that you talk yourself out of it. What I think you need to do is embrace that maybe it is not perfect. Maybe it is beautiful in its imperfection, but all the more reason to move forward with it, because then you can strive not for perfection. I don't think striving for perfection is ever a good idea. Striving for whatever, again, matches your internal vibe. There's a need to be vulnerable here. That's why she's nude. That's why she's naked in this card. She has one foot on the land, so she's staying grounded, but she also has one foot in the pool of intuition and her dreams. Do you see how she's doing both? There's balance. Here, there's not a lot of balance. Just something about this is that I'm hearing the word like overweight, not overweight. It's imbalanced in its weight. I know that's an odd metaphor, but it's like I'm almost seeing it in terms of that's funny, like a poker game or gambling. It's like, I'm going to put all my chips on this one, but I think you're putting all your chips on the safety zone or not moving into that new chapter. And again, it's like, of course you would bet on the safety zone because it's been so consistent, because it's been familiar to you. You know it. You know what to expect, but that doesn't mean it's comfortable. I think this person needs to take a risk. And again, it doesn't have to be a huge risk, right? But to step outside of this role or this position they've always known. Certainly it could be at a job or a company, but it could be you're outgrowing your role in a family. Are you the child who always takes care of the parents? Are you the sibling who always initiates conversation? Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, you're not enjoying the role. That's what I would say here. If you don't mind being that liaison or that go-to, great. I'm not telling you to change. This is for someone who they feel stuck, but they're not happy where they're at. This is like the minute you raise your vibe and understand that there's so much more out there for you, that you are capable of not only this change, but this transformation and aligning to your soul's purpose, then there it is for you. It's always been there for you. You're never going to lose it. You're never going to miss out on that opportunity to go for it. I think you just needed to hear that. I don't know. Tell me a little bit about this. I'm 2 cards in and I've already given you a novel. Sorry, Gemini. Here we go. Yeah, stop looking for reasons why you shouldn't. Look at the reasons why you should. And however this resonates for you, right? This is about embracing a new cycle. Oh, and there it is. Bada bing, bada boom. Do you see how it doesn't look fun? Don't get me wrong, it was necessary. There's no point in looking back at any chapter in your life and being, well, that was a waste of time. You saying that and thinking that is a waste of time, because, it was a gift from the universe. Whether you realize it or not, it's all about what you take away from that experience. It truly is about your perception, your perspective. The story you choose to tell yourself, the narrative of what your past has looked like. That's empowering. You're the author. You're the narrator. You get to choose how you want to view it. Was it a waste of time, or was it a valuable lesson that you needed to learn the hard way, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, because for most of you, it's in the past, or it's about to be the past. I literally just heard we're about to make history. That's funny. Some of you seem very ambitious about your goals moving forward, which is awesome. But then again, it's sort of, I guess I'm wanting to that Geminian brain where it's like, I'm going to make history, but gosh, it's comfortable here. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying the two can't exist together, but I think slowly you need to level out the scales of, there's just an imbalance. You've been putting a lot of weight or importance on one area of your life. And so I'm not blaming or shaming you, but it's almost like you lost sight of the larger picture. That's what the star star represents. The star comes in after a tower moment, right? Something really awakened you, woke you, shook you up, made you maybe slightly uncomfortable to realize I'm actually not happy here. I'm not enjoying this. I don't like this role or this responsibility that either I've chosen or the opposite that has been thrown upon me. Either way, universe is saying, yeah, I know you're done with it. Do you believe you're done with it? It's like the universe is saying, no, boo, I get it. Like I'm wrapped. Like the scene is wrapped. Turn the camera off. Shut the lights on. Something about movie studios I'm getting right now. You were done here. Like cut. And but you're just there. You're still in the scene. You're still like, oh, but it's my role. I don't know how to be anything else. Is that true though? I think you do. I think you already do. I think you just have to decide that you're going to be comfortable in being uncomfortable and trying on a new hat, trying on a new clothes, a new role, a new position, a new title in life, however you want to say it. You've graduated. This is a card of graduations. Oh, I love this. Gemini, this is so empowering. A card of victory and forward movement, Cancerian energy, right? This is finding home. Cancers rule the house and home, so the Chariot, this kind of warrior, right? He balances his dark and light energy. Internal balance, again, a huge metaphor here. They need to work in unison. Again, it's not one over the other. It's not disregarding your shadow side, because again, that's where the lessons come up. That's where you shine your light on the dark and they work together. Oh, I see, the shadow teaches me things. The light illuminates things. They work together. That's what pulls this Chariot forward. He doesn't do it with his mind though, which I think is very interesting. But anyway, Cancerian energy, it always brings you home. Home is what you make it. Home is not necessarily your childhood house. Home is not under the roof of your parents. Home is not your, whatever is nostalgia. It can be. Certainly home will always be where you make it. I think this is about almost the idea of like shedding your skin, or hermit crabs change shells, like their little home. This is about uprooting yourself and finding a place that feels more like home. Somewhere where you don't feel stuck and it doesn't feel laborious. It doesn't feel burdensome. It doesn't feel like you've sort of been cast as, I wanted to use this metaphor of actors, cast in this role and you're typecast. You're always going to play, the dumb blonde or whatever. And I'm totally not using that as a specific, that's just an example. I'm always going to play the geeky nerd, any Breakfast Club metaphor, right? The jock, the beauty, the brain, whatever it is, it's like you've been typecast in life and you feel like you've just been repeating the cycle over and over, and the universe is saying, no, you've graduated. So when you decide you're ready to not live out this role anymore, I'm right there with you, babe. Like I'm making your wishes come true. You just say the word. But it does take that more tapping into that more masculine energy, right? This is a more masculine card versus strength, which is all about sort of subtle strength absolutely, but like the subtle feminine strength of release, of surrendering to the divine. This is more like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get in my car and I'm gonna drive there. I'm gonna find home. And maybe you don't know where it is. Maybe that's why this is so scary, is because maybe this new chapter will take a little bit of trial and error. Maybe you're gonna have to find your footing. And Gemini, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't care what age you are, right? You write the narrative. So if you decide, no, that's too scary, I'm not willing to take a risk, who am I to tell you you're wrong? It's your life, right? You can do exactly what you want. You have free will. But if any of this is making sense, I guess I'm just asking you, where have you been sacrificing your freedom? That's what these cards are sort of almost in a conversation to me. This is like, no, I have to stay here. You don't understand. I have so many reasons. And you're like, let me pull up my list of reasons. It's like a 90-page document. But it's like you so desperately want to, it's almost like rebirth yourself in the world. You want a new role. You want new freedom. You want a new chapter. It's almost like you've learned to express yourself differently. And so where does that show externally in your life? Part of you has gone through a huge spiritual transformation. I know, because again, this comes after the Tower. So there was something inside of you that needed to be, I keep hearing like awakened or awoken. I don't know what the proper phrase is there, but you've gone through like some major upheaval. It hasn't been easy, but you're still there. You're still showing up. So you are a warrior, but you may be choosing to be the wounded warrior. You may be looking at as all those lessons you learned, oh, it was a detriment because there was something wrong with me, when really it's just the opposite. You're a spiritual warrior, not a wounded warrior. You've made it this far and you're still growing. You're still thriving. But that's not where it stops, because you have so much more growing to do. But I'm almost getting you need to cut the cord. There may be a relationship you stayed in that maybe you weren't happy in, but you didn't know what life was like without that person. Maybe it was, codependent, whatever thing you want to slap on it. I'm not here to bring you into that lower vibe. I'm just here to get you to this kind of awakening that, hey, maybe there are other possibilities out there for me. This feels so good. This feels like someone hyping themselves up at a gym, like with the boxing gloves and the like. This is, you feel like Rocky Balboa in this to me, and it comes in time because essentially there is no one giving you permission to do this or telling you that it's right. You know, you can certainly ask those around you. You know, people you trust, people whose wisdom you actually put stock in. But only you know what is right for you. And I think that's an important lesson that comes in time too, is that as much as you want to please, you know, the family or your coworkers or your children or whatever, it's really you who's living out your life. So as I say in these tarot readings, you are accountable and responsible for your decisions. That is empowering, but in a way it's also terrifying because there's no one else to blame. So again, about your perspective, let's say you take a leap of faith and you do that thing you always wanted to do, but you're a little uncertain, but you've convinced yourself this day, okay, I'm going to do it. If it doesn't work out, just ask yourself, okay, so what? What if it doesn't work out? That's sort of the mindset you need to get into, is keep digging, keep asking yourself larger questions. Like, is it a failure that it didn't work out? Or is it a win? Is it a success that you tried something outside your comfort zone and, you walk away with the knowledge? Well, at least now I know that's not for me. Or at least now I know how to do it differently the next time. Or Queen of Swords showed, she's all about knowledge and lessons, air signs, right? A lot of Libras are great teachers, right? Even spiritual teachers. You're always going to walk away with valuable lessons and knowledge, so don't look at anything as a failure or as a dead end. It's not. This is a dead end. You literally see how I'm going to say a Gemini, earmuffs for my sensitive Geminis. Do you see how he literally can't get past his own bullshit? He's blocked himself off. He's floundering in it. He's holding so tightly onto that bullshit, but it's not helping him. And I'm interjecting humor, right? Because that's just how I read. Like, this is not the end of the world, live or die crisis, right? For most of you, I would hope. If it is, then maybe tarot isn't going to serve you all that well. But yeah, just for everyday, like, life transitions, and I get it. It's weird when you are at that crossroads of do I or don't I? And you're absolutely right to weigh out the decisions. Well, pros and cons, and what if I do this? There is no right answer, and that's where I think you're going to get some relief. Because I think some of you are looking for an absolute, and there is no absolute. There's no one telling the soldier, hey, are you tired? Are you done? Are you thirsty? Do you need a bathroom break? It's like, no, he's a full-blown adult. He needs to make those executive decisions for himself. No one is going to be there to hold his hand. And again, I'm giving you so much tough love here, but I hope you know I'm doing it with compassion, because gosh, is this familiar. I've so been here. I will probably be here in another 4 months, right? A lot of people's lives with sort of the world opening back up and vaccines and everything going on, there's a lot of like, oh, okay, well now I'm forced to make some sort of new decision, and it's almost like my entire life is riding on it. Again, you may be putting too much stock in this one decision. It's almost, I don't want to say arrogant or egotistical, because that's really not what I'm trying to say, but I'm going to say it's silly to think that this one decision you make is going to impact literally the rest of your life. Because if one decision can be that impactful, right? The world is opening up. How are you going to operate this way now? If that one decision hinders everything, well, so will another decision to counteract that. Do you understand what I mean? It's like something about a domino effect. I think you're putting way too much stock and I would say pressure on yourself to make one decision, and almost like a stick-to-itiveness, like you must commit to this decision for life. Do you see how sometimes committing to one thing for life actually doesn't serve you? That ability, my mutable air signs, my Geminis, the ability to be flexible is a gift. And you actually have that as a mutable air sign. It's not to say you always tap into it. It's not to say you always choose to activate that side of your personality. But for those who are unfamiliar, right, there's 3 air signs. There's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Gemini is mutable. Mutable signs are about dispersing, essentially. You break down what has been built, and it's almost like you scatter it, but it indicates that there's movement, there's flexibility. You're not always all in or all out. You don't always live your life in extremes. Now, certainly you may have a complex birth chart, right? If your moon is in Scorpio, maybe you live your life in extremes, right? There's going to be some exceptions, but whereas Libra is cardinal. Libra is essentially sort of the opposite. If cardinal signs start things, if they build, if they initiate, if they are the spark, they are the action, you are the one who takes what's left and you disperse it. And maybe that doesn't totally make sense to some of you, and that's okay, but my point is you have that very specific role as a mutable air sign. There's no one else like you. There's mutable fire, there's mutable earth, but there's no other mutable air. Aquarius is the 3rd air sign, right? So they are fixed air. Fixed signs always get slapped with that negative connotation of stubborn, right? Certainly, yes, but in a way, I think, again, that's the wrong way of looking at it. They are reliable, they are stable, they are consistent, right? It's what you make of it. And I think Gemini, for those who don't know, that idea of mutable, in a sense, it disperses. It's not necessarily always committable. I think that's why you guys kind of get slapped with this idea of, oh, they're scatterbrained. They're all over the place. Again, but can you use that to your advantage? If you do relate to these qualities, and maybe some of you don't, that's fine. How can you use that to your advantage? Rather than being scattershot, or rather than having a million ideas and not ever doing anything with them, can you use that to your benefit in some way, right? If it's in your DNA and your makeup, again, is it your downfall or is it your superpower? I really keep wanting to show you that and say that. I think this has a lot to do with understanding that certain thoughts or beliefs you held true, you held them as your absolute pinnacle of life. Some of you are starting to realize, oh, like I didn't quite have it figured right there, did I? And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's something so beautiful in being able to admit fault that you don't know everything. And it's almost more empowering. It shows greater intelligence, in my humble opinion, when someone can not be arrogant, when someone can admit, yeah, I'm still learning and growing and I don't have it all figured out yet, but I'm curious and I'm going to ask a lot of questions. Gemini, right? One of the most curious signs. That's what makes you so fun. And anyway, I love my Gemini, so I hope it doesn't feel like I'm beating you up, but yeah, understanding that what you held to be true, again, that probably served you for a period of time, but I think you guys know the universe is like, what are we doing here? And you're like, I don't know, but it's familiar. So, okay, acknowledging it is the first step. What you do with this message is entirely up to you, but you have big things coming in because it's almost like you've been rebirthed out to the world. Do you see how this circle, and not to be overly graphic, but it's almost like a birth canal being pushed out on the other end in all its nakedness, right? And in its birthday suit and all its naked glory. Though you're a full-fledged adult, and it's almost like you're seeing the world for the first time. 4 tarot cards, Gemini. That's what I got for you. How are we doing for time? All right, we're going to do a quick one. I really just want to leave you with that because I think it's important. Does it matter what's on the other end of this wish fulfillment? You already know. You already know in your heart's desire what's there. I don't mean that as a cop-out, but I mean, why would I, your dreams are all different. Who am I to say what your dreams are? You know what they are. They're all around you. The signs are all around you. All right, tell me about Gemini's love life. What's coming in? And maybe this has to do with your love life. For major arcana, I definitely have Aquarius, double up on Aquarius, a little bit of Sagittarius, maybe some Capricorn thrown in there, and Aquarius. Did I say Aquarius? Yeah, okay. A lot of Aquarius. And I did mention Libra a lot, so who knows? Maybe that factors in. All right, let's do a quick love reading. Let's do 2 for Gemini, 2 for their person, and what's in between them, please. I'm going to split the deck because I don't want any more than 5 cards, please. All right, here we go. All right. So for Gemini, where are they at? Ooh, you may be turning your back to a long-term commitment, or it's coming in and you don't see it coming. So if you're married, some of you may be considering moving away from marriage or long-term partnership. If you're not married, Gemini, you may have a huge offer coming to you, but you don't see it. You're not aware of it yet. Interesting. Yeah, okay, I'm going to stick with that second line. Holy cannoli. King of Pentacles, bottom of the deck. Love it. Someone who knows their value, someone who knows their worth, someone who in a higher vibration is very generous. You reap what you sow, I'm wanting to say, but also this person understands the value in sharing their assets, sharing what they've created. They have good, healthy boundaries, right? They're not giving themselves away for free, but they understand the importance of investing in your person. Very connected with, again, Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Does it have to be? Of course not. But if you are thinking about a male Earth sign, this may have some potential. You have a lot of Earth. You have a lot of Earth coming through. So on your side, again, this is what I'm looking at. 2 of Wands talks about decisions. Here's what I think. I'm just going to take a shot in the dark. This is not an absolute truth. This is my interpretation of this tarot reading. Yours is valid too, right? I think when you wrap up this cycle and take that risk or leap of faith, even if it's just something small, if it's waking up and doing one thing different in your daily routine, that's change. I think when you become more comfortable with change and embracing the unknown, because there is no absolute answers, that small decision, that small step leads to something huge that you don't even anticipate. It's so much bigger. I almost think I was getting the metaphor of this is like a happy tower moment. Quite literally, there's a tower there, but do you see how it's 10 of Pentacles? 10 of Pentacles is, in metaphor, it's like winning the jackpot, winning the lottery. So maybe this is choosing to end a career where it's just okay, and then embracing the unknown, finding your footing again, and maybe opportunity knocks and you get, offered a position at a company where you're going to make bank because, again, you've raised your value. I am reading for love, so I am going to stick to that. But again, something about, it doesn't have to be leaving a relationship or a marriage to go from one to the other. So hopefully you're single, right? When you decide to take those empowering steps to, again, do something slightly differently because you truly think and know you deserve more, and you do, something good comes in, and I think your back is faced to it because you don't anticipate it. You don't expect it. I never mean to diminish you guys or make you feel uncomfortable in any way, but I really do get a strong message of some of you don't know how great you are. And so you just need to be reminded. But you need to actually believe it for yourself, right? And I think you guys know this, people can tell you something till you're blue in the face, but until you know it to be true, until you want it to be your truth and your story, it's never gonna be. That's what they say about addicts, right? And I don't mean to go down that rabbit hole, but, don't drink and do drugs. It's not good for you. Okay, well, until that person realizes that they're never going to change, right? And I really only bring that up because some of you are, I don't want to use the word addicted. Some of you are stuck in a rut or in a cycle in believing that this is all you're ever going to get. And universe begs to differ. I beg to differ with these cards. This is good. I don't know what it is, Gemini, but it feels good. All right, back to your love reading. What's between you? I'm just going to say it. I don't want to ever overhype these readings, but you definitely have some strong energy here. What's between you is potential soulmates. And sometimes the Four of Wands can just indicate milestones in relationships, setting yourself up for a nice solid foundation. Sometimes, and a lot of readers will attribute this to more of like a marriage card or a soulmate commitment card. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but someone's down on one knee, right? Granted, he's proposing his love to a mermaid, but hey. Who's got a mermaid tattoo? Who has a mermaid piece of jewelry? What do mermaids mean to you? Is that some sort of symbol or icon that is important to some of you? If it is, double down. This might be your reading. And then, okay, let's see what's happening on your potential person side. This is someone who's done a lot of growing, literally from page to knight to king, all in the same suit, by the way. And these were shuffled pretty damn good. This is someone who's had to go back to the drawing board because they were not satisfied with the person they were. It had nothing to do with needing other people's approval or permission. It's that I think I can be better. I think I can do better. So do you interestingly see how you're kind of at the beginning stage of that too? Like, I want to do better and I think I can, but do I deserve it or am I ready? This person has gone through the same struggles, and I would argue that's why you guys are a perfect match, because there's something about your timelines were very similar, but universe wasn't ushering this union in until you guys were both solid, on your own 2 feet, not loving from a place of lack or wanting someone to come rescue you, wanting someone's permission to see value in yourself. You had to find it for yourself. This person is still in the process of doing that too, but they're getting bigger, they're getting stronger. That acorn is growing into an oak tree, right? I love the metaphor here. And I really want to harp on male earth sign energy. And maybe that's you watching, right? Maybe you have Gemini in your chart, but either way, your stories mirror each other in a way that is very beautiful. The vibe is high. I'm into it. And quite literally making an offer. Gemini, this doesn't have to be the case, but for some of you, this could be, I don't even want to put a zodiac sign on it, but this could be someone who's made offers to you in the past, and for one reason or not, or for some reason or another, maybe you weren't single at the time, or maybe you weren't really wanting to accept that offer. I actually see them coming back again just to check. And of course, it could be new, guys. It doesn't have to be an old person. But for some of you, this would not be a toxic ex. This would be actually, I'm not even going to say that. If this person has truly done the work and worked on themselves, which actually is very evident in the storyline here, it's possible that meeting you was very life-changing. And it made them realize something about themselves. They did the internal work, and then they're like, you know what? I'm going to see what Gemini's up to. I'm going to see if maybe they're interested at all. And so here's the thing. If this was an ex who didn't treat you right, or, not narcissist, toxic, blah, 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 hate all those terms, but whatever. This person had their own demons they were fighting with. If they come back, make sure there is truly changed behavior, right? Because an apology without changed behavior is manipulation, essentially, right? I think that's important. I think this has huge potential. I think this person is either coming in as King of Pentacles or it's showing you where they are headed in life. So have faith, even if this comes in a few weeks, in a few months. I like this. I like it a lot. In fact, let's pull just for the people who are thinking that this might be possibly a male earth sign coming back from the past, or I don't know, whatever. I focus and emphasize so much on the zodiac signs, and in reality, that's not really the most important part. It doesn't matter. It's a human being, right? For someone who's coming back, like, what are they thinking? What's the deal? And maybe it's an apology, but it's someone who, they definitely grew a lot by knowing you. It sparked some sort of internal journey in them. I know that I crossed the line with you. All right, so they know they may have screwed up. And what's the bottom? I know I was a distraction from your pain. Interesting. Interesting, Gemini. All right, well, anyway, I'm going to leave you with that little sense of mystery. But also, if you want to book a personal reading, that would be awesome. Just shoot me an email. I'll get you all squared away. We'll figure out what kind of tarot reading you need or want. Other than that, please remember to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next Thursday for more tarot. Goodbye, my beautiful Geminis.